going to be interesting.
Yes, it is.
I didn't ask you earlier. Are you feeling any better?
Oh my god, so much better than yesterday. Jesus Christ. Like, I was dead.
Do you get the number of the truck that hit you?
No, but holy fuck. Like, it started off as a migraine at work, but as soon as I got home, it was progressively worse. Like, I got home, I had a headache, I took some Tylenol. Um, I was cooking dinner. The second I had the chance to sit down and start eating, like from the time I started eating to the time I was done, I was just miserable to the point that like I was done eating and I told Callie, "Hey, I gotta go lay down."
I'm surprised that you powered through that. When I get headaches and stuff, I'm out. My body cannot handle it. I need to like hide under a blanket and go to sleep for a while.
It depends on what level the migraine is. Like I could tell it was all in my sinuses at that point because it was like all pressure up here in my on my nose and behind my eyeballs. But like I felt but it wasn't just like pressure. I felt physically warm. I was like, oh fuck.
Right. Jeez.
Mm-hmm. And even calories. Even
But you're alive today.
huh?
I said, but you're alive today.
Yeah, pretty much. Little scratchy throat, but that's about it. Oh, I forgot to tell you, Sawyer ended up having strep this weekend.
Oh, Jesus.
So I have no idea.
What brought that on?
He got dismissed from school. He got dismissed from school twice last week. Once on Wednesday, and by the time he got to my in-laws' house, he was his normal self the rest of the day. He was his normal self all day the next day, stuff like that. So he was 24 hours puke free. Went to school. Didn't have a fever in the morning. He was his normal self. The only thing that was off was throughout the night. He had gotten up a couple of times to the point where one of the times he snuck his way into our bed, and he slept with Callie until after we were done playing Destiny. And then when I went
Was that the night that he just wouldn't go to sleep too?
something like that, yeah. And then after I went to bed that night, he went back. I had him go back to bed, and then in the morning I woke up with him in my bed snuggling up to me.
Aww.
Yeah, like he didn't want to wake up at all. But afterwards, once he was up, he was fine. No fever that I could tell or anything like that. So took him to school. Not mind you,
Right.
it was my Friday off. Get home, maybe finished an episode of a show that I wanted to watch before I got stuff done, and I'm already getting a phone call from the nurse saying, your son's falling asleep in class and has a fever. Can you come pick him up? I'm like, fuck.
Jeez. Poor kid.
Uh-huh. And his fever ended up going up to 102 that night and the next day. So so he went to the doctor's office the next day, and that's how we found out he had strep.
Well, I don't want to share my weekend because now I feel bad.
You bastard! You went apple picking.
What? I didn't do it. Yes, we did.
And you didn't
I told you
invite
already
us.
because I was going to make applesauce. I'm sorry. Meg had to work that evening too. I don't think it would have worked out well. It was also decided like last minute the day before. It's like, let's get up and go apple picking tomorrow. Okay.
Nope, you guys just
So we
don't
did
like
that.
us anymore. The fuck?
Yep. That's why we're still doing this. I hate you.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah. It just didn't work out this year. We couldn't do our family trip to the apple orchard.
Boo.
I'll try to make sure to... Excuse me. I'll try to make sure to make some applesauce and send it so Callie has it.
Ooh.
I have a feeling if I make it and eat it, she'll be like, where's mine?
Oh, I actually, we didn't realize. I don't know why we never realized this, but apparently we have an apple orchard in. Well, we knew we had them, but we didn't know that there was ones that we could actually go apple picking at.
Uh-huh.
But we actually have one in Acushnet, which is like 5 minutes from where we live. So maybe next year we do it down here.
Whatever works.
Yeah. And they do hay rides, and they also pumpkin picking and everything like that. So
Do they do donuts and cider and shit?
Not well. They do their own. They don't do them fresh though. Not like yours.
Okay.
So you guys have the one up on that one.
Yeah.
But they do. But in their stands, they sell other fruits and vegetables that they have as well. So that's where I used.
It's corn.
Huh?
I said it's corn.
That's actually where I got my
Do you
spicy
know that
peppers
song?
from. No.
Okay. A big lump with knobs. I'm not going to sing it. I'll just show you the song.
Oh.
Don't show it to Sawyer, though. It'll get stuck in his head, and then he'll sing it. It's a cute
Oh
song.
dear God, no.
Save it for yourself.
Yes, because I know I will never stop hearing it. Because all
Are you good?
series
Your watch get mad?
series listening, but not listening. Pulled up something about a judge.
Nice.
Yep.
Stop listening. All right. You ready to get the shindig underway?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, last tangent. Speaking of about the watch, they're listening.
What?
They're listening so often that yesterday me and Callie were talking about how we need to. We definitely. Was it yesterday? Either yesterday or the day before. We were talking about how we really need to get back into the habit of making breakfast from home. And then all of a sudden, I hear Siri saying, "Oh, 35 homemade breakfasts that can be done in like 10, 15 minutes." I'm like,
Thanks, didn't ask.
yeah. I'm like, fuck.
All right. Ramble Pack Podcast, episode 47.
Oh yeah.
And I'm still normal Adam.
And I'm Sicky Mike.
You're okay now. You can go run a mile right now. You're good.
I couldn't even run a mile before.
Sorry. I'm expecting too much of you.
Pretty much. What the fuck?
Sorry. Oh, man. I haven't asked you lately. Have you played anything new or interesting, or are you still stuck on just Destiny and Dreamlight since you have to finish this stuff?
Oh shit! I keep forgetting to fucking do it.
Oops, sorry. Well, there's your reminder.
I know, right? So that means I gotta do some stuff either today or tomorrow. Not really. Ironically enough, I haven't been playing the slime game as much. Well, that's just because I've been more obsessed with that mushroom game. But besides that, no, not really.
Which I'm still getting ads for that, by the way.
Play it. You know you want to.
No, thank you.
You know you want to be a mushroom that
good.
grows.
No, I don't. If I'm gonna play as a mushroom, I'm gonna play that indie game where you're a mushroom running around the forest. Not gonna play Isekai Slow Life.
Do it.
No. Okay, so since we're trying to get back on the Destiny train, since we have a few more weeks before the next season,
And we lose our legendary
how are you
sharks,
liking?
aren't we?
Yeah, we gotta. Yes, I believe that kicks in next season, so we gotta spend those on shit. How are you liking the Festival of the Lost stuff so far?
I thought it was.
That wasn't an instant yes or something. So you're looking.
It's fun. Don't get me wrong,
Uh-huh.
but it's repetitive and to the point that I'm just like, we've played the same two maps over and over again. I don't know how many runs we've done.
Yeah, that Nessus one comes up a lot.
I'm just
I think I've only done Europa once.
Yeah. Well, I've done both, but I can't do the other two. So and we've done it so often that it's making me think, are they like
we
time locked?
Did the EDZ one on Legendary.
Yeah, so then why didn't it count though?
I don't know. Maybe it's the way it's weighted. I honestly don't know. But are you enjoying it at least? I know it kind of sucks that you have to wear the mask and you have to run something else to get I don't even know what you would call it, currency for the event to be able to get anything from it.
Yeah.
Like, it's cool that you can earn candy from everything, but then to get the pages, you have to run stuff to get them to completion, and then take that into the the Lost Sectors to turn that into the other thing to put it into the Grimoire book.
It's not really any different than the Solstice, though. It's basically the same setup. Minus the Grimoire book.
Right, but the Solstice, you're actually working towards building good armor.
Right.
This one, you're just running the event to run the event and get all the pages in the book.
Thanks, Mickey.
What?
my phone, I took my watch off and Mickey started talking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I have the Mickey Mouse watch face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at least in that for the Solstice, it made sense because you actually went for something.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a noob, you can try. It's a good way for you to try and like farm decent armor.
You get good armor, yeah.
Right.
Well, there's a growing sentiment that people are not happy with this event anymore. Like the subreddit alone, people are regular players, like casual and hardcore people and stuff, are just like, we're over this. And the biggest thing is, a lot of people want to see the masks turn into just ornaments rather than being a helmet itself.
Wasn't it like that in D1, where it was like
Yes. It was a consumable that would put a jack-o'-lantern on your head.
Right. That's what I remember.
But then everything else stayed normal. Yeah, that's kind of similar to what people are wanting, whether it's just like an ornament that changes your helmet from whatever cosmetic you're using to the mask, or something like a consumable would be cool. Because, if people are wanting to use an exotic helmet, they can't because they got to run the mask.
Right.
Not to mention the masks themselves, the stats on them suck. And apparently someone did a bunch of polls on the mask to like see what the stat changes were from them, and a lot of them are static rolls. It's not completely random.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to get a really decent roll, it would take a lot of candy to get that, and even then, you're not guaranteed it. Like, I think the highest number for any of the classes was maybe 63.
Yeah.
And it sucks. It's not very good. And then couple that with having to run legendaries for the legendary Lost Sectors for stuff. Yeah. A lot of the sentiment is it feels unnecessarily challenging without having any kind of way to combat that.
Mm-hmm.
And the rewards for it aren't really worth the effort.
Right. And I even think all the time...
And that has grown in the last week since this event's only been out for a week. And the complaints and stuff has gotten pretty loud.
And not to mention the amount of times we ran the event.
Mm-hmm.
How many eerie engrams have we really gotten?
I've gotten maybe 5 total? 6?
Well,
then
I got shit luck because I've only gotten like 2 or 3. That's including the one that we had to focus.
Right. Yeah. Well, maybe then I've more... maybe it's more like 4 or 5. Well, I think on my Titan I got 1, so maybe 5 total. And we've had to have run it 10 or 11 times by now.
Yeah, easily.
So I guess that's not terrible. It's half. But I've read of people running it 38 times and getting maybe 3.
Are you serious? Holy fuck.
Yeah. It's rough. And then, like, you have to find a good way to farm candy, which they had a good way to farm spectral pages and candy, and then they nerfed that down to the ground. The newest way to do that is running the 3rd stage of the Embaro engine, because it's static. It doesn't really change. So as soon as you figure out the pattern, you just run in, do that really quick, and then get to the next portal, and then you get 305 candy. And it'll take you like 2 minutes of work.
God damn.
Yeah. But yeah, no one's really happy with the event. No one's having fun. Well, I'm sure people are having fun, but it's not really worth it, especially for the higher difficulty and taking away an exotic slot.
Yeah, it's kind of... It's boring, to be honest. It's fun, but it gets old quick.
It's something to do.
Right.
That's about it. Also, it's gotten people wanting the, oh god, what was it called? The Infinite Forest back. I don't know if you remember that back in the day. The Halloween event used to be the Vex's Infinite Forests deal, like from Mercury, but it was haunted.
Mm-hmm.
So you're running away from these things that can't be killed, and they're they're immune to all sorts of damage. And they're just like they disappear and reappear by you. You'd reach different sections of the forest and have to do different objectives to open up the next path, whether it's defeat all enemies or find specific enemies to beat in that area or whatever. All the while, this thing is like it's stalking you throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you got a timer that runs down until it hits 0, and then you get teleported to the boss room, and then you beat the boss, and you get your rewards.
They had events. They had events like that, and we're getting the crap that we're getting.
Yeah.
Somebody dropped the ball.
It has changed a bit, and not necessarily for the better.
A little bit. You were,
Now that I'm talking about it and remembering how it was, I'm like, yeah, why didn't they bring the Infinite Forest back? But I guess if they're sticking with the whole Destiny content vault thing, they're not going to be able to do Mercury because Mercury's gone. It's not in the game anymore.
now, any
So.
particular reason why they got rid of Mercury?
It's story. It's a story-based reason, obviously, because the darkness is here and they took away a lot of planets and shit. But that's coupled with trying to keep the file size for the game low and keeping things able to be loaded quicker.
Oh, okay.
Because as the game grew, it got bloated and things took a while to load in.
Oh, okay. That part makes sense. I was always wondering why the hell shit changed.
And that was always a problem too, because it's like people bought the base game. You bought the game as a game whole. You got those planets, and then they took them away.
Yep.
You can't access the original campaign story anymore, even though that was part of the base game. That was always part of the game when you bought it. Can't access any of that stuff from the disc anymore because of how much it's changed.
No, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. There's been a lot of good and some bad from it.
Mm-hmm. How you feel about it?
I'm so far removed from the original release of D2 that it's like it doesn't really affect me anymore. But I also agree with these sentiments. You bought the game that came with the base game, and then it was taken away from you just in the name of furthering the story and keeping file size low. That sucks because it's like you bought it. You should be able to access it.
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm so far removed from it and indoctrinated into their system that I'm used to it now. So it's just like, yeah, that's what they do. Got to make room for the next thing.
And I don't think I played long enough at the beginning for me to really miss it, to be honest.
They have that much buy-in.
Yeah, on D2 at least. D1 that was different.
Yeah.
Even then, there's
And that's still different. You can run through that entire campaign still.
yeah, it's not the same though.
No, it's not the same, but you still have access to it, even with all the DLC and stuff.
An abridged version.
In D1, no, you run through the whole campaign.
Oh, you're talking about the actual D1. I thought you were talking about like the
Yeah.
abridged version that they introduced in D2 to.
No.
I'm like, what the fuck you doing?
Even that's kind of messy.
Yeah, a little bit. Like, it was a good refresher for me, but it's not that.
It's not going to catch up new players.
Yeah.
It's going to give them an idea, but then there's still so much that they're missing from it.
I'm just curious where it's been so long. If the D1 servers are still up.
They are.
Is all the DLC free at this point? Seeing as it's been out for God knows how long.
That one I don't know.
Because I know the base game
I'm
is
going to
free.
assume not, but who knows? Something to look into.
I'll have to check that out later. Because was there anything else in D1 before they switched to D? No, I don't think so. Because
That's God, I can't remember the names of the expansions, but Oryx came with all that in the Dreadnought, which was a huge DLC.
Right. I think. Oh my God.
And that brought along the raid along with it.
Yeah, because the Iron Banner was a DLC at some point too, wasn't it?
Iron Banner was a game mode, but Rise of Iron was in that,
Yes.
wasn't
Rise of
it?
Iron, I think, was the last one.
Okay. And then they had Crota too in that.
What the fuck is this? Somebody not doing a very good job at pretending to be Facebook.
Ah,
Yeah.
cool, man.
Yep. You're not hacking my page.
So that's a pretty that's a pretty good segue to what's this about? Ransomware group was arrested that was responsible for the Capcom leak.
Yeah, they finally caught him, boys. Apparently,
I'm trying to remember what that leak was.
you and me both. Like when I was reading it, I was like, "What the fuck? They got leaked." But yeah, apparently 3 years ago, Capcom had a massive leak where a whole bunch of like personal data and a few games were prematurely revealed. Um, well, the hacker group that was involved in that, what the hell's the name? I'm pretty sure I copied it. Ragnar Locker.
What a
Yeah,
name.
I know, right? Um, they apparently got caught by not Interpol, Europol. Is that what it's called? Yeah, Europol. Um, if people need the non-abridged version, the European Union Agency for Law Enforcement. Um, I'm assuming that's basically their FBI. Um, but yeah, they caught one member. Um, they ended up enforcement to like 11 different countries. They got a key target in Paris last week. Um, and they located their home in Chechnya, or is that
You got it,
Chechnya?
Chechia.
That's in Russia, isn't it, or something like that?
You're asking the wrong person.
Um, and then they had like five additional other suspects in Spain and Latvia. But yeah, but apparently the leak was that bad that it affected about over 16,000 people, including their like financial information, sales reports, stuff like that. So
Damn.
basically, sounds like the Sony leak, except they actually caught the people.
I wonder if that was some of the stuff I saw about Street Fighter 6 where they were like leaking the character roster and who like what they look like and stuff like that, like even character models and stuff.
Yeah,
I don't remember much about Resident Evil 4 or the remake, but I remember seeing like things about characters from Street Fighter 6 leaking.
yeah,
I wonder if that was part of it.
it could be. But yes, I agree with this. Good job on those guys, because that shit sucks. I'm sorry. I like a good leak like the next person to find out shit about games early, but
But not at the detriment of other
yeah,
people.
uh,
So so from this it sounds like they found well, as you said, a key target. They found one person, and then from that person they found the rest of the group.
I'm assuming so. Yeah,
That's what it sounds like. It says finally apprehended the ransomware group responsible. So it sounds like they got them.
I hope so.
Anyone there say how big the group actually was?
I'm assuming. I don't remember. I don't remember them saying like if there was a total target amount. But if they're basing, if it's going by the number of suspects versus plus the person that they actually arrested, I'm assuming this was like a group of 6 or 7 people.
Yeah, the article doesn't really say. Boo. That's okay. Apparently
Huh.
it happened back in 2020.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yay. Well, at least they got him.
Yeah, true.
No hacking.
Bad people.
Hey, how do you feel about I think we might have talked about this with Destiny stuff before. With it's not really hacking, but people who look for spoilers in game files and stuff,
Mhm.
or will pull game files and audio and stuff just to find things. And whether or not they leak it is a whole other thing. But how do you feel about getting information that way? Because you know that game devs, they don't really intend for story information that's meant to come out periodically or at a later date to be leaked like that. You know, it kind of puts things in a sour mood. But
Oh, you're talking about like the
so
data
how
miners,
do you
right?
feel? Yeah, that's the word I couldn't think of.
I don't know, honestly. Like I think it depends on the game. Cause some stuff I'm like, I don't really want to know. Like when it came to, like for example, when it came to leaks for like Kingdom Hearts 3 and shit like that, I didn't want to know any of that shit because the game.
Hmm.
But for me at that time, it was also built up to the point where like, all right, I don't want to know because I want to find out firsthand while I'm playing the game.
Right.
Um,
It was also a big deal.
right. Whereas like some of the data mine stuff from like mobile games that I play, or even like the couple of leaks things that we find for Destiny 2 and shit like that. It's cool.
So I feel like this is so weird, but I feel like mobile games. I hate to say it like this, but they don't matter. You know, it's just a throwaway game.
Mm.
It's not something that you spend $20 on and you're playing it for 4 hours a day to continue the story. If you want to data mine things to see what's in it so that you can earn it, by all means, go for
Hmm.
it. But I feel like games like Destiny, where it's a drip fed story content over the course of a couple months,
Mm.
you want to experience that as it unfolds. But at the same time, it's so damn slow that you just are like, just tell me what happens next. Let me do this thing, kind of thing.
Right.
I'm of two minds on that because I'm like, yeah, it sucks when they ruin it for people, but at the same time, I want to know because I'm interested, and I don't want to have to wait 24 weeks to get every bit of the story.
Right. Like the explanation, for example, perfect example is the explanation that we got for the witness that was leaked. Yeah, we ended up finding it out in the season of the deep, but at the same time, that's pretty cool information to have early.
But at the same time, people were upset finding that out because it's like that should have been part of Lightfall. It's like we already figured this out during that thing. Why are you telling us again? This should have been all part of one whole DLC, and you've stretched it out for what 6 months now.
I agreed. So
So I guess the question comes back up: how do you feel about data miners? It sounds like it just depends.
yeah, it really all depends on the situation. But at the same time,
Hmm.
you're your own person. If you don't like,
How about this? In general, do you think it's a disservice to the game?
not really,
Okay.
because if they're like blatantly putting it out there and be like, oh, you have to watch this type of thing, or being force fed down my throat, then yeah, I'm gonna have an issue. But if it's um, something like, oh, we found this, heads up, if you don't want to know, don't look. That type of shit. Give me the choice.
Fair.
Unlike how some people spoil like TV shows and shit like that.
Hmm. So I like that you say that because I don't. Was it really data miners? I'm trying to find this again. Yeah, some people were looking at Titanfall 2 game files and found something named Anniversary Prep.
Mm-hmm.
Lately, there's just been a lot of hubbub going on regarding that game because Titanfall 2 has been out for 7 years come this
Yep.
weekend, come Saturday, I think. It has basically been dead and dormant. Like, people still play the multiplayer off and on, but you know, support for Titanfall 2 was dropped a long time ago and switched over to Apex Legends, which has become a juggernaut not all in its own.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, Titanfall 2's multiplayer and stuff was updated. It is now playable and stable, and they have gone in and fixed map glitches and boundary breaks. But in doing so, they've also put a beloved character from Apex called Nessie. It's just like a giant Loch Ness monster thing. They put little plushies of them in the places of those maps where they fix these glitches and things. This is going somewhere.
Okay.
Just wait. This gets kind of crazy. Aside from these fixes and stuff, a set of patch notes were included or in the patch notes, there was a patch note specifically that said, incoming Nessie transmission, with 3 codes along with it. Once those codes were translated or decoded, it was found out that they were the release dates for Titanfall 1, Titanfall 2, and Apex Legends.
Okay.
Okay. From there, the Titanfall devs have started using 2 main features of the game to send cryptic messages, which were the limited time game modes and the networks, which is like clans or whatever, and then there's like a global one for everybody that they can see messages from.
Yep.
A game mode was put in about a month ago that was titled with 3 question marks. Nothing else. Didn't have a name. But the description said, your rockets will blot out the sun. I don't know if you've read ahead in my notes, but do you know what that movie is from?
No.
It's from the movie 300, where he said, your arrows will blot out the sun.
Oh, okay.
People found out that it wasn't a reference to the movie, but the fact that they were using the number 300. The 300th day of the year was October 27th, which is 1 day before Titanfall 2's release date. Still going. A new game mode after that was added that was called Blinded by Science, which took the community no time to find out that that was the 3rd round in a co-op mission from Titanfall 2, I believe. And because it was the 3rd, people started believing that there was a teaser imminent for Titanfall 3. Nothing came from that, like no teaser or anything like that. On October 23rd, yesterday, since we're recording on Tuesday the 24th, a new server message came out that said, retrying to send encrypted message. The community quickly found that this message was in the description of another game mode that read, receiving encrypted message, protocol unknown, failed to decrypt, printing raw message. Followed by a set of hex code. Once that hex code was translated, it says, from candy to copper. Copper is the 7-year wedding anniversary that you tend to give people. On October 28th is the 7th year anniversary of Titanfall 2.
Oh, shit.
So it's alluding to the fact that the game is 7 years old in that. And like I said, one of the game files in it was a limited time game mode titled Anniversary Prep. So the entire Titanfall community is expecting something to come out on the 28th, and they're like all in a tizzy trying to figure out what's going to go on and stuff, because there's just so many things happening around the game.
Oh, Jesus. So, yeah, they gotta be coming out with something.
It was so much. They have to. After all the shit that they just went through and put up for all this stuff and people found all this, something has to be coming. Also, if you have never played Titanfall 2, it is super cheap and on sale. I would recommend buying it and trying it. It is such a good first-person shooter. It is so good. The people who went off to make Respawn, which is, the makers of Apex and Titanfall, they were ex-Call of Duty devs.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So they took their knowledge from that and made Titanfall, which was a huge game in and of itself because it was kind of new from them and unexpected. Then they took that and made Titanfall 2, and that has one of the best, I'm pretty sure I said this before, it has one of the best campaign stories from any first-person shooter. Worth the buy.
I'll take that recommendation.
Okay. You probably get it for like $5.
Yeah. Maybe if I'm lucky, it's under Game Pass. Or PlayStation's Game Pass.
You don't have Xbox? There you go.
Fine. PlayStation Plus, whatever the fuck it's called.
Make me spit out my tea, damn you.
Good. Karma.
So yeah, I I started shut up. I started reading that and following the story. I'm like, oh shit, something's happening. I can't wait to find out.
Yay!
It was cool to see.
So we will. So we will be discussing that next thing.
Yes, we'll come back next week and tell you what happened.
Yeah. Actually, one is.
Oh, that's. I'm getting more excited talking about it now. Maybe I'll have to play some Titanfall later.
That's the point.
You gotta pull me away from Mario Wonder.
As long as we get our Destiny time.
Yes, we'll make time for that.
Always.
Make us sound like we're addicted.
Yeah. Just a little bit. Come on.
Would you break it?
No, I didn't break nothing. Okay.
Uh-huh.
You want to talk about another addiction? Final Fantasy.
What? Is that your addiction?
It was before Kingdom Hearts.
You know, that could go a couple different ways because Final Fantasy XIV is a lot of people's addiction right now too.
Oh Jesus.
But I have a feeling it's not what it's about, right?
Nope. It's about Rebirth. Apparently, the devs have a big surprise for an iconic scene.
I'm so bad. I was gonna say Rebirth is better than Afterbirth.
Oh Jesus.
You're welcome. Continue.
And that brings a whole new meaning, seeing as I'm going to be knowing about seeing that all over again in the next couple of months. Yay!
Have fun.
No, but apparently this week's Thailand game show, the Rebirth director Naoki Hamaguchi had issued a message to all gamers regarding the you-know-what moment in the Forgotten Capital. That they are confirming that there will be a big surprise.
What? What moment? What?
Really? You don't remember what they're talking about?
Not when it's referenced like that.
Shish kebab.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Yeah. So apparently there's going to be a surprise for that.
Wait, why are you okay? Why are they blotting it out, and why are you alluding to it too? That game is what 20 years old now. If anybody who knows Final Fantasy and stuff will know that moment.
Apparently you don't.
I forgot. You know what? When he was put that way, I didn't know what the hell I was talking about. I forgot that the area that it happened was called the Citadel or whatever.
The Forgotten Capital.
That too.
Well, yeah, no. If you don't know already, this is where Aerith gets shish kebabbed by a giant fucking sword.
I can't even do it.
Sephiroth, oh yeah.
There you go. Okay.
But no. Supposedly they're alluding to a surprise on that. I'm not.
Tifa's gonna die. Sorry.
Bite your fucking tongue. You do not kill my waifu. Thank you very much.
I'm a little upset that Vincent's not a playable character. He's just a person you talk to.
I'm sure that. Who? Yuffie was like that in the first installment, I want to say, or the second installment.
Really?
Yeah.
Because she got her own offshoot story.
I don't remember, but from what I'm understanding, for the remake when she's first introduced, she's not a playable character, or is that Red 13? One of them isn't.
I thought Red 13 was you had him on your team in the first one. Yuffie had her own side story with some other ninja dude, but I think she wasn't playable at the time.
Right. I think that's what they're doing. I think by when they introduce him, he's going to be a non-playable character.
Oh shit!
Because
we're gonna get a Dirge Cerberus remake.
I wouldn't doubt that at some point. But what I'm thinking is going to happen, and if I didn't realize they've only gone this far, then because when I was reading the article, it reminded me that the end of the first disc. Now, mind you, the original game is 3 discs long. The end of the first disc is when she gets shish kebabbed.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're getting to that point on the third freaking installment of this series, how fucking long is it going to be? But with the,
I imagine they're going to end it after this one.
I don't think so. Why would they? If they're story wise, I don't think so. Because why would they? Why would they spend so long to get up until that point on the third installment and then rush the rest of the story?
I'm just assuming based on how things go when they're changing it
Yeah.
up. A lot of things run in trilogies. What do you see these days that has a quadrilogy?
I have no idea. But that would be. I would find it funny if the irony of this whole thing is try to make because it's Final Fantasy VII. They try to split it up between 7 installments.
Ugh, that'd be fucking
Uh
terrible.
huh.
No way.
We've seen worse ideas, but but back but back to the topic though. What I think they're gonna try to allude to is the fact that at least I hope it's that type of deal. Is you know how like in the first game there was that rumor that you could bring her back, but there actually was no way to bring her back.
Yeah, I remember that. Or if you answer certain dialogue options or do certain things, you can get someone else to take her place. Like they'll shove her out of the way or whatever.
Yeah, there's always some kind of story, some twist about it.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're gonna.
It's like holding down and B on Pokemon to make things get instantly caught, or you can move the truck on Cinnabar Island to find Mew under it and shit like that.
Right.
Those old school rumors.
The old school urban legends.
Yeah.
But I think they're gonna try. I think they might be paying homage to that. But if they do that, it better be like you better be able to choose whether or not you want to take that option. Because if they pay homage to that and make it part of the story and you can't choose, I think that's a bad. I think that's a bad way to go about it. Because I understand that.
What if it's based off your choices and conversations and stuff and how you've played?
Yeah.
Because I could totally see them going the route of the way you play your dialogue options you choose or whatever, or what you choose to do or not to do would affect story choices down the line. But didn't they say that previous game saves are not going to matter in this new one? Like, you'll get bonuses or whatever like that, but you don't have... there's no continuity between saves for the first two and then this one.
Yeah, I think what they said, like you can start they're gonna make it so that you can start the game with this installment, and I think they more are talking about the fact that like you don't have to have played the first 2 installments to understand how to get the third one going. So I think that's just alluding to, hey, they're gonna do a recap type of thing. Basically, the same idea as like how Destiny does at the beginning of every season, or no,
Right.
they're like, oh, this is the story so far. We'll catch you up, type of thing.
And someone's narrating over it.
Yeah.
I still want to know what the Black Wispy things were at like towards the end of the first set, or the first remake title, whatever it was.
Black wispy things.
When they were at the top of Shinra headquarters and like the ghosty things were swirling around them.
Why am I not remembering that?
Do I want to spoil it? Like someone could have died, but they didn't allow it because it would have kind of fucked up continuity. Like that's the thing I got from it, was like it dealt with alternate dimension stuff.
Ooh. Okay.
Do you not know what I'm talking about? Should I ruin it for you?
Yeah.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. I haven't played it in a while, so go ahead.
During something up in the Shinra headquarters, Barrett was shot, or he died for a minute, and then he came back because of these things. And it was like they were ghosts of something else, or I forget what they said that they were, but like because he's not supposed to die. They brought him back or something like that.
Oh.
You'll have to check out some videos of it. It's really interesting. But I was like, what the hell is this stuff? Because then that like made me think, oh, this is how they're remaking things.
Right, they're going to be subtle changes, and eventually it's going to diverge. Ooh.
But it's like it's aware that it's different.
Yeah.
Like the original Final Fantasy VII is still there. It is its own thing, but this game is fully aware that it is a remake of it and a chance to change things, kind of thing.
Okay.
Very meta.
Yeah. I think that's a good way to go about it. Especially where one of the major concerns and why they didn't want to do a remake of Final Fantasy VII or remaster or whatever because of how beloved the game was. They didn't want
They didn't want to mess with it.
right. They didn't want to take the chance of redoing it and then the fans either being upset because it's too similar and a cash grab,
Or it didn't live up to their expectations.
right. It's too far gone.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's yeah, that's a good trade off. Okay. That means I'm gonna have to play Ever Crisis more. No, because Square's pretty good about has been pretty good lately about tying in like their spin-off games to the story to the stories of their other games. So I'm wondering if that timing makes sense.
Talking about tying stories together and stuff. That's why I can't wait to play Alan Wake 2. I want to see how it ties into all their other things. And like they tied in Alan Wake to Control, so I'm wondering how they're going to tie Control back into Alan Wake 2 and like tie the other stuff into it. Because they're really good about that, and their games are interesting. So I'm like, how are they going to do it?
You'll have to let me know.
That's just me. Yeah, because the game comes out in 3 days.
Oh damn, that soon. Jesus.
Yeah, I think I can preload it tonight or tomorrow, and then it comes out Friday.
I never understood that. Why would people why allow people to download the games early?
It was a holdover from PC. Not a holdover, but I guess a carryover from PC because you used to be able to do that, especially with I think WoW was the big one where they would have these massive expansions, and then you could download the game files up to a certain point, and then like once the game was fully released, it would finish the download basically, and then you could start it right away. And I think once that was a thing, I remember doing it on the 360 as well, where if you pre-ordered a game, you could pre-install it, and then once the game released at midnight, it would download like the last itty-bitty bit of it, and then you could play it.
Now that you were explaining that it makes sense. Makes sense to me as to why they would do that, especially if it was like a super popular game. That's gonna bog down the servers if everybody's downloading at the frickin' same time.
It's a way to combat the whole change to digital, because how many times have we been at GameStop at midnight waiting for our games to be released and then take it home to play it right away?
Oh god, I missed that.
Yeah. I've done that for a couple Halo titles, and it was a trip.
I think the very last time I ever did that was to go with my buddy to go get Final Fantasy 13 when it was released.
Mm-hmm. I can't remember if the last time I did that was for Halo 4, because I got the console with the game too, or if you know what, I think that was it, because I was going to say it was either that or an Assassin's Creed game, but Halo 4 is more recent, so it was definitely that.
Yeah. Oh Jesus.
Hit you with a bit of nostalgia.
It also goes to show how old we freaking are, because our kids will never have to do that.
And I used to work at GameStop too, and I've done midnight launches. It's fun because everybody's excited and want their game.
Oh, absolutely. I'll do a midnight launch. I will not do Black Friday. Fuck that.
I've had to work Black Friday. It's rough.
Uh-huh.
Like, there was a line out the door, and I showed up, and people were waiting, so I walked in there like, here, hand these flyers to everybody in line while we're getting things set up. I'm like, oh, great.
I've done Black Friday shopping twice. I will never do it again. Because the first time, I think I've told you this story. The first time I went, was with Callie. Her uncle wanted an Xbox 360. And Callie, mind you, Callie worked for Toys R Us at that time. We went. We
Hmm.
waited in line. It was cold as fuck. And apparently it had rained bad the night before. So there was a mud. The parking lot was so full that people were parking in the dirt lot next to it, and somebody got
Jeez.
stuck. So I
Hmm.
helped. I went with a couple other people to go help push the car out of the mud, and I got loaded with fucking mud. Come to find out, when they finally opened and we got to the front door, one of her coworkers saw her when we walked in. She was like, "Did you wait in this line? Why didn't you just tell us? We would have let you right in."
Oh my
I'm like,
god.
"Are you fucking serious?"
Kelly just won the experience.
Uh-huh.
Jeez.
And then the second time I went was for a project for my photography class, and I was so cold that all my pictures were fucking blurry.
Oh god. Couldn't stop
Uh huh.
shaking.
I had to redo the project because there was none of my
Oof.
pictures were usable. I'm like, God damn it.
Damn.
Uh huh. So yeah, we'll never do that again. Thank you.
Okay. Anyway, you know the Fallout series, right?
Yes,
Did you know or remember that Amazon was making a series on it?
I think so.
I think it was announced around the time of the Last of Us series, or like they were doing production while that was on.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. It was around the same time. Just a couple days ago, we got a release date.
Yay!
Coming April 14th of next year. Or April 12th, sorry. April 12th, 2024.
Oh, jeez. If it's anything like
Still
Last.
don't know what it's about, though.
Listen, if they did well with Last of
Also,
Us,
you
then
can't compare HBO to Amazon.
oh, for some reason I was thinking Amazon did Last of Us, but no.
Nope, HBO did. Although Amazon, I guess, has had some success with The Boys and the spin-off of that, so maybe it'll be decent. But still no story or anything like
The
that.
Boys have a spinoff.
Yeah, it's called like, uh, oh god, why can't I think of it now? It's like Gen V.
Oh, jeez.
It's like a prequel to The Boys.
Oh, Jesus.
Hmm. But anyway, yeah, no story stuff, no nothing for the series. They haven't mentioned anything. The little teaser trailer they showed was some nukes falling on like a modern time.
Mm-hmm.
The Brotherhood of Steel marching towards the camera. Their vertibird was flying in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, the ghoul that they showed was Walton Goggins. I didn't know that.
Okay.
But they showed him. He looks like a character from Fallout 4 specifically.
Okay.
Wonder if it is. Wonder if it's a whole new character. The only thing that they have said is that it's set in LA and it mentioned Vault 33. I don't know a lot of the lore behind the vaults, and I don't know if that one was ever mentioned in any of the games. So I'm going to have to look that up.
Your knowledge is better than mine.
Okay. I played a lot of Fallout 3 and 4. Good stuff.
Oh my God! What the hell was I gonna say?
Probably words.
Yeah, most likely words. No, actually, as far as TV shows, have you heard anything else about Warhammer? Because I know they were trying to
Oh
get Henry
shit, yeah,
Cavill.
no, I haven't heard. I think he was on board. But yeah, he said he was down to do it. No clue who he's going to play on it, but that was it. Haven't heard anything else since.
I'm very curious as to why not.
Maybe they've already, well, given the strikes and stuff, I don't think that they've really been able to do anything.
Fair enough.
So maybe that's why.
Because I'm just hoping it has nothing to do with the whole fallout with WB and all that bullshit.
I just hope that it's good and people are happy with it. I don't know a lot of Warhammer lore or anything like that, so I'm going to look to the community to see if it will be good or not.
I don't know shit about Warhammer. I just know that Henry Cavill is enough of a nerd that he's going to stick with source material if he can.
Yes, I mean, perfect example is The Witcher, and I feel sorry for him about that.
Oh yeah, that was fucked up. But thank you. I'm proud of him for sticking to his guns, though.
Mm-hmm. One of us. One of us.
That I was very surprised about. Apparently, he was a portly child.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Mom, look at me now.
So good for him. I'm proud of the guy. He is definitely
Yeah, me
he's
too.
definitely a good role model for people.
Yes. And he's not bad on the eyes.
Nope, not at all. I would go gay for him.
Okay.
He's not America's ass, but
So since we're very close to talking about superheroes again, since he was Superman, Spider-Man 2 came out.
yes, it did. Apparently, it didn't. Jesus Christ. Apparently, it.
You okay?
No, apparently it broke Sony's or PlayStation's 24-hour sales record, and it's only available for PlayStation 5, so that's saying a lot.
Mm-hmm.
People bought more than 2.5 million copies of the game in its first 24 hours. It was supposedly the fastest-selling PlayStation Studios game in PlayStation history. And apparently, it's one of their higher ups said on behalf of Sony Interactive Entertainment, I want to say thank you for the fans. We truly hope you're enjoying your time playing as Peter and Miles. It's Eric Clampel, their SVP of Global Marketing, Sales, and Business Operations. Well, that's nuts.
Oh.
Like I knew it was gonna do well because it for Christ's sakes it's Spider-Man, and
Insomniac,
yeah,
yeah.
it looked amazing. But the
Mm-hmm.
fact that holy shit, it did that well.
People were ready for it.
Yeah. Now imagine.
Not to take away from it though, but it has had its problems too.
Has it really?
There's been a handful of glitches and things, and at some points the game has turned Peter or Miles into like little white cubes that they play the game as instead.
Spider Cube.
Also, well, I am not either Puerto Rican or Cuban, so I can't say if it's a big deal or not. But they made the mistake of, since Miles is Puerto Rican, they wanted to put the Puerto Rican flag in his apartment. Although they used the Cuban flag, not the Puerto Rican flag.
Oh fuck! Yeah, no, that's bad.
Yeah. So they're working on changing that out.
Who dropped that ball?
You're asking the wrong person. I don't know. I just report on the shit.
I'm like I can understand it was probably an honest mistake, but how did the
My guess is it was somebody who was in charge of doing it and didn't know any better and just Googled it and said, yeah, that's right.
probably? But at the same time, how did nobody check
But at the
that?
same time, that's an oversight. You're right. It was an oversight.
Like they didn't have testers or anybody else look at it, or
Yeah, anybody that could verify it.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what their work pipeline looked like and if it was only one person set to do it or not.
Right. It's
Hard to say.
yeah. It's along the same. It's along the same lines as
I can give a perfect example.
Ukraine and Russia.
No, Destiny 2 had an armor piece not long after it came out that it was kind of like stylized, but the way it was stylized kind of looked like not like SS like Nazi, but a similar symbol which had the same kind of meaning,
Oh,
and it was totally unexpected and not meant to do that. It was just the way it was stylized looked very similar to it.
ooh, that is definitely in poor taste.
Yeah. So they're like, oh, disabling that armor piece, taking it off. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. I was gonna go along the line. I was gonna go along the lines of them trying to say like Brazilians and Portuguese are the same. They're not.
Oh no, don't do that.
They both speak Spanish. They both speak. Wow, shame on me.
Watch
Wow.
yourself.
No, they both speak Portuguese, but don't say that.
Right.
Fuck. But yeah, I feel their pain. I can see where that's bad. That's bad. But at the same time, forgive them.
While we're
It's an honest mistake.
Who knows? But at least they were like, oh, yep, sorry, we're gonna fix that, and I'm sure that they'll have it fixed soon.
Oh, I'm sure. But
All good.
now imagine if it wasn't
It's-
just a PlayStation 5 exclusive. How big those sales would have been.
Yeah, but we ain't gonna see that
Of course not.
because PlayStation bought Insomniac, so they're a first-party studio. So that game's staying in-house. And I'm glad that you brought that up because I was going to switch over to ex-PlayStation CEO's Sean Layden was saying how he's worried about the industry's consolidation and game preservation.
Mm.
Perfect example is Sony buying Insomniac.
Yeah.
Apparently, he gave a keynote speech during the GameIndustry.biz investment summit,
Okay.
and that's where he shared some of his concerns, where he thought consolidation can be the enemy of creativity, which, yes, no, I guess it depends on how you look at it. We could talk about that in a second if you want.
Yeah.
He also thinks that the rising costs in gaming are an existential threat to all of us. Because, I mean, you could see that. A perfect example is games are costing $70 now instead of $60, and that's supposed to help offset the cost of development, where we're seeing all these giant blockbuster games costing millions and millions of dollars to make and taking 4 or 5 years to make them.
Right.
He thinks that companies need to, quote-unquote, de-risk expensive projects by retreating into sequels and established Hollywood franchises. Recent acquisitions to add to their portfolios could lead to less creativity as more teams are put to the projects. So instead of focusing on these things, give a little more creativity and let people run with things, and you can create a new IP from it.
Right.
Rather than spending millions on the rights to something and then even more on developing a game.
Right.
In specific instances, acquiring a company can save them from shutting down. True. But he remains worried about the lasting effect of the larger trend. Sure, you can save a company, but then you're also removing companies from the larger pool of game devs and keeping them in-house and putting them to task for your own stuff. So rather than letting them make their own things, like Devolver does, because Devolver has bought companies or helped publish games, but they're really hands-off. They're just like, we're not going to tell you what game to make. You make your game. We'll help you figure it out.
Right. As it should be, to be
Whereas
honest.
we got Xbox and yes, I agree. But we have Sony and Xbox and saying, hey, we have this IP, we want you to work on it, and we'll pull in all of our resources from other places to make it happen.
Yeah.
And then you don't have a lot of things coming out, or in Xbox's case, you don't have a large game portfolio because, I don't know, you just don't have people working on the games. Or you have a Redfall situation where you spend all this time and money making the game and it's poop.
Basically. I'm
He also...
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say so far, I agree with all his points.
Okay. He also questioned how much gaming can grow by focusing on existing genres that have already failed to win people over. He said, quote, if we continue to coalesce around the 4 or 5 genres, then we won't get the new players because those people have already said we're not interested in your genres. Specific example, he said, people who are turned off or won't buy Call of Duty 10 years ago are not going to turn around and buy it today.
I agree.
They've already made up their mind, and that's it.
I'm one of them. I agree.
Yes, I have not bought a Call of Duty game. I've played them, but I don't buy them because I don't find them fun.
Right.
Even as things have changed, it's nothing that has come out has drawn me in and made me want to play it. It's still Call of Duty. He also says, obviously, game preservation is important. I think we both agree on that. He says, quote, I'm hoping that people in the industry, certainly the big players, begin to realize that there's an obligation and responsibility. This isn't throwaway stuff we're making. This is stuff that should be around for a long time because future generations will enjoy it in the same way that we have, and it's criminal that we're not doing more to protect it.
Yeah, I agree.
Look at the, with that, look at the, you look at your library from past generations and stuff. I would argue that Sony is now doing better, whereas Xbox has had a leg up on that market because even though the 360 had a huge library, they only ported over a handful of them. You know, it's still missing a lot of good games from that generation. But anything since the Xbox One on has pretty much been backwards compatible. You can still play them.
Right.
Your library has come with you. Sony, it's more like, you know, they have these things on digital. You on the PS3 and PS4, you can buy old PlayStation 1 games and stuff. And it's only now coming to the PS5. Like, it's been a real slow uptake?
Yeah.
I don't know what you want to call it. It's just been slow to come to that. And now, now that they have these game subscriptions, you know, sure, they have a well to pull from, but they actually have to do the work to bring them in. I just agree with a lot of the points he made, but it's the consolidating of different dev studios and stuff makes it hard to get anything new these days because they'll make a good game. I'm worried about indie devs because if they make a good game, the big companies can see that and be like, okay, we want you to work for us, and then instead of letting them continue doing what they're doing, they'll be pulled apart, stuck into other companies, and then be made to do other things. And then if things don't work out, such as Embracer Group, they get laid off, and then the studio shuts down.
Right. I agree with those points. To oh my God, to the degree where they were talking about, where he was talking about the points where you not to be so heavy on like the same video games and shit like that, to the point where we've been saying this for years. It's not like it's something new. And it's not even like these companies are trying to hide it. It's they know where they're making their money from. They don't care. They're going to keep rehashing it. That's why, like, NBA or NHL, the sports games, as a perfect example.
Yeah.
It's just the same rehash of the same game year after year after year.
I feel like that's why there's been a huge resurgence in indie devs and indie games.
Yeah.
Because I guess if you look at a lot of indie games, I might have mentioned this before, but they will have a mechanic or a certain type of thing that they're doing in that game, and that will be what the game's about. They'll tell their own story, it'll have its own art style and whatnot, but it's centered around this one mechanic that they really wanted to make or include in the game. Yeah. And that's what makes it fun and interesting, because these things are always new. The first thing that comes to mind was a solo dev who made a game based around like electricity, and it's a little robot that you change things positive or negative, and he has to stay charged, but that's what the whole game's about.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Or even look at Hi-Fi Rush.
I don't know if you can count that. That's a Xbox owned company. The only lucky, I'll give you that it was one person's creative idea, and instead of saying no because it was a Japanese studio, usually they're pretty rigid. They said, "Okay, let's do it." and gave them the leeway to do so, and it was great.
Right. I
But we need more of that kind of stuff. We need more of the internal people saying yes to these kind of ideas rather than saying, no, we have a clear vision, here's what we're going to do, and we need you to do that instead.
Yeah, and there are companies that do that. It's been proven. Look at Square Enix. That's how they turned around. Yeah, it's called the Final Fantasy series, but each iteration is its own story.
Yeah, and they always add something or change something to it.
Right. That came from somebody's idea. They were okay with that. People need to be more open. It can't just be the same shit over and over and over again. It gets annoying.
And that's the worry with consolidation.
Basically, and eventually people are going to get tired and not want to be paying these exorbitant prices.
Yeah. So my question for you is: do you think consolidating is good or bad? Because it sounds like from what we've been saying, it's bad.
Basically, at this point, it's not good. It's not good from what we've seen. I hope for the best with the Activision Blizzard merger with Microsoft, but at the same time, that's what the biggest worries people were having. And like you said, Embracer Group proved that shit can happen, and shit did roll downhill.
Do you think that this kind of leaves like a vacuum for mid-sized studios? Like, you need to have some sort of money to be able to do so, and I feel like Annapurna and Devolver Digital would invest in some of these devs who can prove themselves or have like a really good idea.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell, Enter the Gungeon or Cult of the Lamb or Hotline Miami. Obviously, these people had some pretty clear ideas for the game. They made a really good game, and the company believed in them and helped to push it out. I feel like they kind of fit into that in-between state where they're not part of a huge conglomerate and they can actually stand on their own 2 feet as well, even if they are being published by a publisher who will give them money to do so. Yeah. They're at least filling that creativity role.
Right.
Because it's always different, it's always fresh, it's always new.
I think that, yeah.
Do you think that consolidation is creating that vacuum and at least these kind of studios are able to fill that? Or do you think that they're just getting more of a megaphone because there's less creativity in like the bigger ones? I say that, but it's more like Sony and Xbox because Nintendo's got creativity out the ass when it comes to games. Just look at Mario Wonder.
Yeah. I do have to agree because oh my god, I really can't talk. I do have to agree with that just because, like you were saying, those mid-tier ones are the exception to the rule where they found the secret sauce to make it work. Nintendo found the secret sauce to be be the big company and make it work because they're doing their own thing. They're not really competing. They're like, fuck you, we're on our own.
But that's also interesting because you've got the mid-tier ones who their publishers or people giving them money are hands off and are like, do your own thing, be creative. Nintendo is like, Japanese company. They're rigid and they have a clear vision for things and they iterate until they get it right. But when they do, they nail it.
That's the thing.
So I guess, would you say Nintendo's the exception to the rule? Because they're one of the big three, but they still have creativity.
They still have creativity, but like where you were saying, where the rigidity, they may be rigid, but at the same time, like the key phrase of what you're saying is, they get it right. They keep at it until they get it right. Whereas that's the problem with Sony and Microsoft and the bigger companies. They're not.
They at least have the time and the resources, and they won't try, it seems like. Because Nintendo will take the time to make it right, whereas the other guys are like, we have a deadline, not changing it, don't matter.
Right. They're so concerned about what their competition is doing and be like, oh, we need to bring this out as soon as possible, make it big budget, blah, blah, blah.
It's all about market share.
Yeah. and edge each other out. Whereas Nintendo's like, "Fuck you, we have our community."
They've been playing by their own rules for years.
Yeah. So I'm I don't know if Nintendo's the exception of the rule or they're actually
They're definitely the outlier still, and that's where they've been.
Yeah, they're the outlier, but at the same time they're actually following the rules that these companies should be following. Is the way I think.
I guess
Yeah.
that sounds like you're trying to say they know how to run a company,
Yeah, basically.
which is a sad thing because that's like your baseline, but Nintendo does it well.
To be honest, Nintendo's the reason why all the other
They
ones
might
are
not treat their
around.
contractors well, but still.
Huh?
So they might not treat their contractors well, but here we are.
Not the first time I've heard stuff like that from Japan, but that's why you see that type of shit in their anime all the time.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of freaking Nintendo and their rigidity,
Wait, are you going to say something bad? Because I want to say something nice.
I guess.
Okay. Just because I've mentioned it twice now, I'm going to say Super Mario Wonder is an excellent game. I told you and Brian this the other day. It reminds me so much of Super Mario 3 and Super Mario World. Yeah. It is cute. It is colorful. I love the music. I love the way that they did. The game is so much fun. And I didn't realize this until I read it the other day that they hid a little Easter egg in the Pro Controller.
Oh, okay.
In the game, there are like different colored note blocks that, you run along them and it plays like piano notes or whatever. When you're doing stuff in the game as well, the controller will vibrate in time with whatever you're doing, like any other game, really. Nintendo did a smart thing where if you turn down the volume and then you run across the notes, you can hear the controller vibrating. The controller, they program the vibrations in the controller to vibrate basically in tune with the note blocks on the screen. So even if you don't hear it, the vibrations make that tune from each block in the game.
Like the vibration sound makes the tune, or like...
Yes.
I need to go over and find...
It's really neat.
I'm thinking the way when I was reading the description, I was thinking like, oh, they did like a hearing impaired type of thing where you may not be able to hear it, but hey, you can actually. There's a distinction between these notes that you can feel it. But
I mean, yeah, essentially it is, but it's really minute. It's more the pulse of the vibration. I don't even know how to accurately describe it. It's just the vibration from the controller is programmed to vibrate in basically what would sound like the tune from the block in the game.
that's cool.
It makes a similar sound, but just as a vibration. It's a really neat little thing.
I wonder how they figured that out.
I would assume that however they change the vibration for the controllers, like when you program it for that system, it's similar to the PlayStation's controllers. How it's like super precise vibrations and stuff.
Oh, okay. So I'm assuming somebody must have just like sat there and play with it and teak with it and listen.
Man, someone had to go over that game with a fine-tooth comb with just all the little things that you notice in it. Like, just for an example, you get the elephant power-up. If you carry water in your trunk all the way to the end, there's little characters called poplins because you're in the flower kingdom or whatever. Once you get your thing at the end, you blow the water out of your trunk to continue, but the water will obviously hit that character, but it makes their flower hat bloom.
Oh, Jesus.
Who thought about making that happen? It's just these little touches that like make the whole world more animated and alive. And it's those little touches that make it so much better.
Again, Nintendo is the one that sets the rules. Please follow them.
I guess so.
Now what?
They are very careful and
Yes,
precise. And it's great.
And sometimes it's bad.
Such as the next story you're going to tell me, I assume.
Because apparently Nintendo has updated their guidelines for community tournament guidelines, mainly for the ones that you don't need a license for. Um, Apparently they posted on their Nintendo Japan and UK websites on Tuesday, and dictated the terms for non-for-profit small-scale community tournaments. Um, for their games. They did now define the terms that organizers who have to follow to qualify as small scale, allowing them to function without official license from Nintendo. Some of
Wondering if this is fallout from one of the fighting game tournaments or whatever it was.
maybe I
This happened months ago where like they were on board to do something and then somebody was like going over other people's heads about rules or something, so Nintendo pulled out and was like, nah, we're not doing it anymore.
it could be just because some of the highlights that they're giving is like community tournaments may not generate commercial revenue. Except as permitted by these guidelines. They're capping them at 200 participants in person, or 300
Wow.
for online tournaments.
It's interesting that they're capping participants.
Um, organi- Organizers may not receive compensation from third-party sponsors. They may not sell food, beverage, or merchandise.
What?
Apparently. Uh,
What?
no prizes exceeding a market value of, I'm assuming that's pounds, 4,500 pounds, or 5,000 euros in total.
Okay, those are... Yeah, yeah.
No spectator fees for online tournaments, and
Makes sense.
organizers must publicly disclose all accounting related to the costs of hosting the event promptly.
Hmm.
So, the other stuff I can understand, but why no vendors?
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Because if
Like specifically no food and stuff, especially if like the tournament is being held somewhere that has that stuff, can you tell them no?
that's what I was thinking. Like, what? How do you circumvent it? Like, let's say, for example, you host a tournament. Let's say you want to host a Smash tournament, and then you rent out one hall for the tournament, and you rent out another hall to say, "Oh, I'm running a fast food hall or a food and wine tasting type of idea," and they go across. It's two separate events.
Well, yeah, then that would probably be okay because it's two separate events. It's not part of
But
it.
you're circumventing it. You're not stopping
You're right.
your participants from going over to this other event.
Well, then they could say, why would you schedule our event during another one?
It just happens to be using the same hall. I guess I don't know. I think that's stupid.
I don't know. Some of these things make sense and some of them don't. And I feel like it's an answer to the problem that they had before. Like they've always been kind of wishy-washy when it comes to fighting game tournaments, especially when it came to allowing Smash, whether it was Melee or Brawl. So this might be their way of continuing to support it like they wanted to before they pulled out last time, but more so on their terms.
Like I can understand the merchandise thing. Let's say, for example, if you're holding one of these tournaments, you can't exactly have a vendor selling Mario plushies. Um,
Yeah, no, or like taking characters or branding from their games and turning it into something for the event. That'd probably be a no-go
right,
as well.
but mainly, obviously the food part. But one of the good points that people are bringing up in the article are like the issues that they have is people when they go to these tournaments, they see vendors with third party controllers and stuff like that, where one particular person, they said that they're handicapped, and they found one of their an alternative controller from a third party vendor at one of these tournaments,
Hmm.
and it worked for them. Now they're preventing that type of discovery. Why would it matter?
I don't want to side with Nintendo, but different kinds of events and conventions and stuff will have these sort of vendors there too. So you could always find them there, or you can find them
Yeah.
online.
I don't know. I'm just thinking if it's not their IP, they shouldn't have to. If the type of vendors that are showing up are not their IP type of thing, they shouldn't have a say.
I wonder if it's their way of not wanting people to make money off of, like, not wanting to use whatever game they are allowing in the tournament to be used to market it. And that's how they would make money. Like, say if vendors are there and, like, they're just promoting it and saying, this is going to be one of their games or whatever. Just say, like, it's a fighting game tournament and they got Smash and all they keep saying is smash this and smash that and we're going to have Smash. It's like you're incentivizing people to come because you have that rather than the whole thing. And if you have vendors and stuff, then they're making money off based off the back of that name rather than the tournament
Right.
itself. Now it could be just like an optics thing where they don't know what the vendors are going to be selling or what kind of designs are going to be on it, and they don't want to be associated with certain
Right.
things too. Or it could just be something they don't want to bother with because they're not going to be able to monetize it themselves or make any money off the
Right.
back end. Who knows?
I think it's.
Hard to say.
I can see more on the merch, but the food thing's kind of
The food thing, I really don't get.
that's stupid, to be honest. Because it
Like I said, some of these convention halls and stuff will have food sometimes in them. I don't think Nintendo can tell the hall, no, shut it down.
right. Well, like you're gonna hold a tournament. If you're gonna, let's say you have a tournament for like 200 people, you're not expected to provide
I
some.
just thought of something. Nintendo wouldn't tell them to shut it down. They just
Yeah.
wouldn't allow it.
I'm like,
Anyway,
no, but I'm saying like if you're gonna hold an event that's like 2 to 3, well, the 300 is online, but let's say hold an event for 200 people to participate in. How are these people supposed to eat? Like, I'm sure if it's an event for 200 people, it's not.
they have to leave and come back.
That's stupid.
Yeah, especially if there's nothing close by or
Right.
easy to get to.
I think along those lines, if we're again, don't hear. I'm not actually going to do it, Nintendo. Listen, and I highly recommend other people who this is not legal advice. Don't sue us if you do this and get fucked. Just happen to be a food tasting event in the same building in another hall next door.
Just looking for loopholes.
I
don't know. But this really does feel like a response to that whole thing with the fighting game tournament before. And I feel like after years and years of Nintendo saying no to allowing Smash in tournaments and stuff like that, and then finally turning around and saying, okay, we'll try to dip our toes back in it, and then being hit with that kind of shit, at least they're not giving up on it, and they're trying to make good on it, and even if it is their own rules that are kind of hard to understand, at least they're still trying. They didn't give up again and say, nope, no thanks.
Right.
Not doing it. That's my take.
Now, at what point are you considered like like where some of the guidelines are like there's no third party sponsors or anything like that. Let's say it's a charity event type of thing. For example, let's use like Children's Miracle Network. A college decides to, or fraternity or whatever, decides to hold a Smash tournament at the campus, and they get a local video game store to donate game controllers or whatnot, and the money that's raised from that tournament gets donated. it sort of falls under the guidelines, but if are those considered donations or is that considered sponsor? The donated equipment.
You could say it's both. Because, I mean, like, sponsoring usually entails some sort of financial compensation, whether it's in the form of goods or
Right.
services. So, if they are a sponsor and they donate the controllers for use and or as prizes, can probably fall under that.
Right. So then I'm just curious as to how to go about that. Because I don't exactly expect an event, a not-for-profit event, to go about paying the money for all like the equipment for this type of stuff to run a tournament and not get
I'm
donations or someone.
I'm sure a lot of these tournaments have like not necessarily deals but agreements with certain companies because I'm sure that there are game devs who have made games that don't want their games as part of something for whatever reason. So I would assume that they do their due diligence and reach out to these companies and say, "Hey, we're putting this on. We'd like to use the game in that. Is that okay?"
Right.
Or like give a sheet of sponsors or who's going to be there or if there's vendors and stuff like that. And if that is the case, then why wouldn't they reach out to Nintendo with the same stuff and try to make sure that it falls under their guidelines?
Right. Because by that very definition, you wouldn't be allowed to get donations from anybody,
Right.
whether it be equipment or.
I have a feeling it would just have to be approved by the big
Right.
N first. It's my assumption. Don't know. Go call Doug Bowser. Ask him.
Goddamn Bowser. Fucking Goomba.
He's a Koopa, not a Goomba.
I like Goombas, okay?
Okay. Well, you'll like him in Super Mario Wonder. When you jump on him, they're terrified. As literally, that's one of the animation things. When you're jumping in the air and you're coming down on them, they go, ah! And then you flatten them.
Poor Goomba.
Yeah. It's funny. All right. I don't know about you, but I think I'm ready for bed. I think we hit everything.
Actually, the only thing I have, not really a big one. Apparently, a studio Motive is actually working on a single-player Iron Man game, and they're.
I feel like we've talked
Did
about
we?
that before. I believe so a while ago, yeah. And I think it's because they were using it for Unreal 5.
Oh, okay, maybe.
Because all this sounds really
Yeah.
familiar. I'm like, I swear we've talked about it before, but I'd have to go through our long list of notes
I
to
think
find
so.
out.
Now that we're talking about it, because my sentiment was when I was reading this, I'm like, oh, good. There's going to be some kind of redemption for Avengers that Square did, and I'm like, oh. Now that you're saying it, I'm like, shit. I probably had the same thought then too.
We need a redemption for the shitty Superman N64 game.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Probably not. But it'd be cool to get a decent
I
one.
think we'll get a redemption in the DCEU sooner than we'll get a redemption for that.
I don't know. Time will tell. That's a WB thing, and that's Rocksteady's bag, and they're working on Suicide Squad, so we'll see.
Have they even fixed those problems yet? Have you heard anything on that?
Game's still coming out next year, I think. That's it. That's all I know. I don't think, like I had mentioned before, and other people have said, the game was too far along in their dev cycle to really change much of the gameplay stuff. So it's probably still going to be a lot of what we saw already, but only time will tell. We'll see later. Yeah. Okay. You want to say where people can find us so we can go to bed now since it's 11:30?
Yeah. Can find us on Facebook, Twits. Now YouTube. Yeah.
X.
Now is this gonna? As people didn't know, and you're finding out now, we're actually recording this episode, so you'll actually get to see us. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Maybe if you want it to be up. If you want them to see us on the YouTubes, I can do
Yes,
that.
you and me.
Instead of it just being the audio with our
Yes, it's
logo.
gonna be you, me, and my little red R2 over here.
You're missing him.
Yeah.
You're missing him. There you go. You got him. There he
You guys
is.
been noticing he's clear in the picture at this time. So
I got this guy. Mila called him Beelzebub, so that's close to Beelzebub.
cute.
I'll take it.
So hit like and subscribe, people. I always wanted to say that.
Ring that bell. Oh God, we're YouTubers now. Is that
Yes,
what we're
we
doing?
are.
Like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, tell a friend.
And don't copyright strike us, assholes.
Oh God. You're already cussing people.
Oh shit! Yeah, yeah. You're gonna have to bleep
Nice
us.
That's at the end. It's
All
fine.
right.
Whatever.
Good night, everybody.
I think it's time for bed. Bye.